everyone, welcome to Duffy and Penguin's YouTube channel. Today's episode would be about how I started training the birds, because I know a few of you have asked me to share my tips or a step-by-step video of how you can start training your birds as well, because I believe that every bird can do that. It probably will take longer for some birds, especially if they were not tame. And there are some birds that are not very incentivized to learn, which, you know, Duffy, as you can tell from my video, she doesn't really join the classes, and that's fine. But at least, you know, whenever she joins, we always try. The first step that I suggest if anyone wants to start training the birds is to start them with clicker training. It's where you get a clicker. So this clicker, you can get them from a pet shop. Many dog trainers or dog owners, they use a clicker as well, and you can use it for parrots. You can use good, very good, or you can even, you know, clap your hands or something. But I find that a clicker is the most effective to communicate because it's a sharp and distinct sound. You wouldn't use this in any other context. Like, you know, if you say good job, you would say good job to someone else, and you know that would confuse the bird. So I use a clicker because it's easy and it's also cheap. Just to share a disclaimer, my birds already know how to respond to a clicker. They know what a clicker means, so they will probably be very fast in the way they react. And it may not be the case for your birds if they have never been trained before, or if they don't even know what clicker training is. So when I first started teaching my birds clicker training, they didn't really understand what's that sound and what that sound means until I did it a few times. So without further ado, let's get started. So I use a reinforcer. So the reinforcer in this case is sunflower seeds that have been dehusked, and I bought them from the nuts and seeds section of a supermarket. Take note, in this stage, the birds, they have not done anything that I want them to do, but I'm just teaching them to associate the sound of the clicker with things. So I don't need to show them. I can hide it in my palm, and I could do. Okay, so this is what I do to get them used to the clicker. So the next step would be to target train. So target train means that a bird, when a bird touches the end of a stick, not bite, you give them a treat. You click and you give them a treat. So example. Then you give them a treat. So when they have been clicker trained, they are looking forward to touch. Okay. So this is what you do. And then by the time that you have practiced a few times, they would actually follow your stick. So example. So once they follow the sound, the stick, you can actually use it to do many different things, which is like, for example, like in my videos, getting them to touch an item, to touch a flashcard, touch one of these foam letters, things like that. So for one example you can teach is doing stepping up. This is Toffee. You probably recognize Toffee to be the most our newest bird, and he's the most scaredy cat. So even till today, he doesn't really like to step up, but he likes to step up when he gets something. So I will show you. Toffee, up. And you can use it to teach anything. For example, this is blue, right? This is blue. So you can be like, Toffee, blue. And he has already learned that if he touches this, he will get a click, which means he will get a treat. So the birds are a bit more advanced right now because they have been practicing for some time now. But what you can do is to start, instead of starting with something foreign like this, you could try starting with the clicker. At least let them understand that the sound of a clicker means a treat, and then you can move on to a stick. So if your bird is afraid of a stick, click and treat when the bird even looks at it or even shows interest in it. So slowly you can then proceed on to getting him to touch it. Not bite it, not shred it, but just a little touch. What if my bird has never come out of the cage, or what if my bird is very afraid of me, and you know, he definitely wouldn't be like this, you know, being confident around me and even getting treats from my hand even. So what I would suggest you can do is start training from inside the cage. Will think that their cage is a kind of a safe place. So you could try clicker and target training with the birds from inside the cage while I'm outside. What you can do is do clicker training from inside the cage. So then you can give them a treat from inside. Then you could target train from inside the cage. So you can use a stick like this, a stick, and do this. So in this method, the bird is still confident. He doesn't need to come out, he doesn't need to touch you. He just has to be interested in your treat. So another way. So you could do this. So you see, penguin already understands. Spend a few days, or even it depends on how long it takes for your bird to respond positively to the sound of a clicker, because there are some birds who might be afraid of loud noises. So if your bird is afraid of the sound of the clicker, you could click it from inside a towel to make it softer. If your bird is not eager to touch the stick, or is not eager to, or shows negative kind of behavior, like, you know, being afraid or wanting to bite, just don't worry. You can always kind of go back one step. So, you know, of course the goal is for the bird to touch the stick. You click and you treat. But if the bird is not even prepared to touch the stick, what you can do is make it easier for the bird to do that. So for example, if this is a stick and the bird is like, you know, I don't want to touch it, but he looks at it, click and treat. So the next time he knows that if he shows attention to that stick that is pointing at him through the bars, he would get a treat. So once you realize that, you know, you notice that your bird is being less afraid or less aggressive towards the stick, and see it more positively, you can tell from the body language if it's excited, then you could then not treat until he goes closer, click, treat, and eventually you are hoping for it to touch it gently. And if your bird were to be aggressive, such that if he tries to, you know, lunge at the stick or he tries to bite it, do not click and treat at such a behavior, because you are going to be reinforcing your bird to be biting the stick very hard, and you know, that's not what you want. So I hope that this video has helped you in understanding a bit more about how you can train your birds. So do start giving, you know, about 5 minutes. You know, you don't have to be 15 minutes at the start, especially if a bird has not been trained before. And if you have any questions, do leave a comment down below. And if you like the video, if you feel that the information that you have gotten in this video was useful, do give a thumbs up and do subscribe. And if you want to see my other 1-minute videos, do check out Duffy and Penguin on Instagram, which I'll put a link below. Thank you so much.